This is the class that enrolled in Harvard last September. So this is the class of 2028. What percentage of them do you think are black? Well, hang on. Are they really smart or do they just study a lot?
I think it's because of
Can you just be the guy who doesn't care what anybody thinks? No one's going to cancel you. What do you make of those? What do you make of the black numbers? What do you think we say to Chinese and Koreans? To say like, yeah, you scored really high in the exam, but there's only like 3.5% of the enrollees are black and Hispanic. Or at Brock Science it's 8%, Brooklyn Tech 14%. That's not enough. People who are critiquing DE&I, right? This is what they're saying. That this is fair. Like, it's the thing. If you don't like it, then go enroll your kid into a study seminar or something. It's fair. Angela, we're going to start with you. What comes to mind when you read the headline?
Could you explain the affirmative action?
In the case of universities, it would mean that when you apply to universities, you signaled that you're white, maybe Italian, you're from New Jersey, and so, when they're deciding, the three of you, whether to accept you into a university.
I mean, I just think it's hard, you don't know the backstory. These kids could be really good and they don't get picked because they are black.
Yeah.
Or the white students or other students are just doing better than them and they're just being fair to everyone, and that's just how it plays out.
Renita, how about you? What comes to mind here?
It's not really fair per se. I feel like when it comes to college admissions, having putting down your race makes a big deal. Mm-hmm. And it adds more diversity to the college for self and more personality, more perspective. So that can be a negative impact in a way.
How much do you think it dipped? It says admissions dipped or enrollment dips.
Probably a few.
Few percentage points?
Probably 10% or something.
This is the class that enrolled in Harvard last September. So this is the class of 2028. What percentage of them do you think are black?
I would say a minority.
Like what? Give me a percentage. Give me a number.
Probably 20, 15%.
Well, let me just tell you this. Black people are 13% of the population in the United States. How many you think are Asians? Are 6% of the population? What percentage of of this class are Asian?
I'll probably say a higher amount.
What? Give me a number.
Over 20.
Over 20. Renita, what percentage are Asian?
At Harvard?
At Harvard.
I would say over 25 maybe.
25%?
Yeah.
Bro, what do you think?
I'm going 35.
35? Why 35?
Well, Asian people tend to be really smart, so Harvard's a good school.
Well, hang on. Are they really smart or do they just study a lot?
I think it's because of that one. They're raised that way. I know a lot of Asians are raised hardcore with grades and all that stuff.
So these two right here, both Asian. Do you feel it?
You Asian?
I'm Indian.
From India. Okay, yeah, I got you.
India's in Asia.
South Asia. Do you feel intimidated by them?
School-wise, yeah.
Yeah? But you don't care because it doesn't matter.
I mean, we're all here. We all got a good shot. I mean, it's whoever works the hardest.
No, it's not whoever works the hardest. Remember those people compared to those people. They can work hard, but you don't understand, on average. Remember the averages.
Yeah.
By the way, stream. Remember, I'm a sociologist. I'm always talking about averages, okay? Anything can be different. All right, so here, let me do this. There are plenty of qualified people to fill Harvard's new class, okay? Which is 1,200 or 1,400 or something. It's not very many people. If I just go to every high school in the United States and every high school in the U.S., and I pull out the smartest kid of different ancestry groups and we put them all together, it's pretty certain that pretty much any of those kids are going to be able to make it at Harvard. Yeah. Okay? And so if you take an exam, the SAT exam, and Renita gets one question right more than you, you miss one question more than her, Are you dumber than her?
SAT wise, yes, but no.
No, but it's one question, dude.
Oh, no.
It's just one question.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. If he scores a perfect score on the SATs and you miss 2 questions on the math part, that's it, 2 questions, and he scores a perfect score, is he that much smarter than you?
No.
Would anybody argue that he is? Would anyone argue that he is? Would anyone argue that therefore he should go to Harvard and she shouldn't go to Harvard? Oh, she's not going to do well in Harvard because she missed 2 questions on the SATs. Or would you argue that she is not qualified to go to Harvard? Or that he's the only one who should get in because she missed 2 questions? Would you argue that, bro?
No.
So there's tons of kids who are available to go to. You could fill Harvard up with black kids, and they would be really, really, really smart, and you're not going to know a difference between the black kids. Next year, we only let black kids into Harvard. The smartest black kids, not only in the U.S., but around the country, wherever. Are you going to notice a difference? What do you think?
No.
Because why not?
Because they're all going to receive the same education. They're all qualified.
No, because you're going to be able to find really, really, really smart, qualified black kids.
Yeah.
And if the next year then we filled the whole Harvard incoming class with white kids, are you going to notice the difference between that year and the black kids?
No.
You don't think so? And the next year it was Asian kids, bro. Are you going to notice a difference? Probably not, right? Because there's so many kids that could do well. There's so many people in this room who easily could have succeeded at Harvard. So you get the scene. I set it up for you, right? So it's not about, whatever. There are no black kids going to Harvard who don't deserve to go there. There's no Asian kids who don't deserve it. Everyone who gets in, they deserve it. Okay, we're good? They're gonna be really smart. There aren't that many kids. It's the premier institution in the United States. So the numbers in red are the percentage in the population. Okay? So here's the numbers. The Hispanic increase from so this is last September. So the increase from the difference between September of 23 and September of 24, the Harvard class of 27 versus the Harvard class of 28, the Hispanic enrollment increased by 2%. Black enrollment decreased from 18 to 14%. And Asian remained the same. So you were on board. What did you say, 35%? 35? Yeah, you were close. All right, 37. Asians represent 6% of the population. That's what the red is. Hispanics, 20% of the population. Black people, 13%. White people, 58%. Okay, what do you make of these numbers? What jumps out for you when you see these numbers?
I mean, it's kind of surprising that the Hispanic enrollment increased, but the black enrollment decreased. I think that's
Well, Hispanic, and some of those Hispanics, they're Afro-Hispanics, right?
yeah.
Right, so.
It's just
okay.
surprising in a way.
What's surprising about it?
I feel like Hispanic is a very broad term, so it comes in many shapes and sizes, and also same with black. So
Okay,
why,
hold the mic close.
why is it different?
Okay, all right, that's one thing. Luke, how about you?
Maybe black people have less opportunity.
Who has less opportunity?
Black people.
Black people?
Yeah.
Well, how do you say that? How do you conclude that?
Because it dropped, because the percentage dropped. And I know a lot of people who are qualified for a school, they don't get in maybe for money reasons or.
Yeah, if you're poor, if you get into Harvard and you're poor, they give you a full ride, my friend. Okay? So, yeah, it's not, yeah. Okay, wait, hang on. So I want to go there. Wait, black people have less something. Dude, can you just be the guy who doesn't care what anybody thinks? No one's going to cancel you. What do you make of those? What do you make of the black numbers?
Well, I mean, they're 13% of the country, 14% of Harvard. That's rational.
Dude, why do you think that black people are having a problem, are losing something? How was it that the year before they were 18% of the incoming class of Harvard? They're only 13% of the population. Where's the racism against black people? It's they're still at 14%. It's where's the problem? What would black people be complaining about? Can you go back one slide? So if you look at this without those numbers, it's like, here's what happened. So Harvard was told that they can no longer use race as the deciding factor in their deciding who they're going to admit into Harvard. Okay? The Supreme Court decided that. By the way, it was Koreans and Chinese who pushed that forward, by the way, which we're going to talk about in a hot minute. All right? It's like, yeah, we're not going to. It wasn't, secondarily, it was white people, but first and foremost, it was Koreans and Chinese. Because, okay, so when you read this, you think like, oh, black people, oh, damn, which what you said, right? And then you see this, like, wait, how'd you get to 18% at all? How'd they get to 18% in the first place? Dude, we've already said Harvard has there were probably 5,000 people who were on that. We absolutely could accept these 5,000 people into Harvard. There are 10,000 probably, but 5,000 that we could grab any of them, and you can't rank them anymore. You can, at some point in time, you got to stop ranking. Do you know how many people score perfect scores on the SATs? You can't rank them anymore. Like, how are you going to rank them? So we've got 5,000 people who Harvard has said, we can take any of these people, anybody, any of them. These are hot shot students who are going to succeed, okay? Out of the 5,000, they decide their class. I'm just making that up, 5,000, okay? You get that. I don't know that it's 5,000, but I'm going to assume it is. It's going to be a number that big. They decide 18% of them are going to be black. Is that fair?
No.
Why do you say no?
Because it shouldn't matter, like the amount.
Why shouldn't it matter?
Because it should be the qualities that matter, like nothing else.
But we've already said the qualities are. We've already said we got 5,000 people who have the qualifications to get into Harvard. And they decided that 18% of them, they decided of all the people, we're going to choose all these people here. Like 1,400 of them, right? Turns out that 18% of them are black. Huh. Is that chance?
I mean, it could be, or like playing on the other side, it could also be like they have to fill like a demographic way, but you never know. Like, we want to believe that it was by chance.
Okay. All right. What do you think, bros?
I mean, if everyone's getting the same SAT scores, like it's pretty much what you do other than that deciphers you of like getting in.
Yeah, all sorts of other things,
Yeah.
right?
But
And I will guarantee if you read the applications of those 5,000 people, you and I, all four of us would say, yeah, that person, definitely, we could let them in.
yeah. I don't think there's like a rhyme or reason, but 13% of the population, 14% attendance, I think that's good.
Okay, what about white people? Do you feel some kind of way as a white guy? We're 50, almost 60% of the population. We're a third of the enrollees at Harvard. You can't find any white people that are like worthy of going to Harvard?
I mean, like within that 58%, like you got to think of people in the U.S. that don't have good educations, like because there's so many.
Dude, there's 5,000 people. Remember my pool of 5,000 people. They're all, they're right here.
Everyone's good.
Here's the pool. Imagine this is 5,000. Every single one of them is like, yeah, you're Harvard material, man. But
I mean, like we were talking about DEI, like diversity's good.
it seems like it's working at Harvard.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like you somehow figured out how to like, somehow something's going on that people who look like us aren't like matching our 58%. So it's like, all right. I don't know. You know, it's a thing. Yeah. New York City, the top high schools up until very recently, and to agree still, are based on test scores. That's it, man. Nothing else. It's test score. You take the test, the highest scores, we go boom, here's the cutoff, that's it. Well, look what happened. Stuyvesant, top school. 73% of the students are Asian. Okay? Bronx Science, 64%. Look how many at Stuyvesant are black and Hispanic. 48% of New York City is black and Hispanic. You all? But it's mostly him, by the way. Okay, sorry to say. It's South Asian, but it's cool. But it's mostly Chinese and Koreans. What do you think we say to Chinese and Koreans? To say like, yeah, you scored really high in the exam, but there's only like 3.5% of the enrollees are black and Hispanic. Or at Bronx Science, it's 8%, Brooklyn Tech, 14%. That's not enough. What happened is they're trying to break this system down at these top high schools in New York because there's too many Asians, too many people that look like you two. But again, in particular, Luke, too many of you. So we got to let other people in, get a fair shake. Even if they don't have the top score. So we're going to change it now so it's not just based on scores. We're going to change it so it's based on something else. How do you feel about that?
I'd say that's fair.
That's fair?
Yeah.
Wait, so if your parents, you and your parents, you study from day one, you're going to cram schools and you're going to after school stuff and you're studying and studying and studying and studying and working your tail off all year round to pass this test and do really well and get into a top-notch high school.
Well, I believe test scores don't explain everything.
Okay,
so.
but they do in this case. And then they turn around and say, you know what? Hey, Luke, you spent your whole life doing that, but we're going to change it up on you because it's not fair to other people that you scored so well, that you worked so hard. Is that fair? Dude.
I think it's fair.
It's fair? Well, you're going to tell his parents, like, hey, man.
No, I think it's fair to, like, judge it off of SAT scores. If that's what the school's going off of. And
it's not, well, this isn't SAT scores. It's a different exam.
Sure. But if those kids are getting the highest scores, and that's how the school works, that's how it should be.
You know, if we went to only scores, and the top schools
Yeah.
are just more and more increasingly filled by people that look like your classmates, Renita and Luke, and not like you, man. Because they come from these cultures that are just jamming away at studying and boom, 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 man. The kind of thing that you and I probably wouldn't know about.
Yeah. You asked me if it's fair?
Yeah.
Well, I think so. Like, they're putting in the work that I'm not, so they deserve it.
So we get Asianized.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's fine. I mean, if they're doing a great job, I'm all for it.
Dude, how is it for you?
I mean, like, coming from, like, a family that's, like, South Asian and, like, we're immigrants, like, I get the whole thing of, like, studying hard and everything, but I was never really the most academic person at my school. I went to a school that was, like, predominantly, like, East and South Asian, so a lot of my friends were East and South Asian, and so, like, their family would, like, enroll them in, like, $1,000, like, SAT prep and all of that, and I just have never been like that. Mm-hmm. And I kind of learned, like, through college admissions and, like, taking the test, like, doing standardized testing. That's not my strong suit. My strong suit was, like, the essay. Okay. And when I was, like, interviewing for, like, other colleges, like, that was, like, my strong suit. So it could work, but I feel like if it was you're only studying for this test to get into this high school, yes, it's fair because you're putting the work down, you're doing all of that, but not everybody can have the opportunity to pay for those after schools, like, test studying or, like, and all of that. So, like, obviously you need more, like, broader spectrums to, like, see how a student can grow and, like, how their learning style is. Okay,
but let me tell you something about Chinese and Koreans in New York. Like, bro, you got nice sneaks on here, right? But if you're an immigrant kid in New York City, let's say, your parents aren't buying you new sneaks. They're buying you study materials. They're not getting you the things. They're not buying you the new iPhone. They're buying you study material. They're paying for you to go to summer school all summer long. Even poor people, it doesn't matter. You know, right? You know, right, bro? That's what they're putting their money into. It's not about being rich and poor. Even the poorest of the people are going like, nah, man, this is the most important thing in the world, and we're immigrants, and we're not immigrant, whatever, and that's where we're putting our money, and nothing else. You don't get a new hoodie. You don't get a Philadelphia Eagles hoodie or a New York Jets hoodie. Well, nobody would want that anyway, but you know what I mean? So you got it? So it's not even about that. So then it becomes, all right, but that's fair. That's fine.
That they're spending their money on other stuff?
Yeah, that's what they do. That's the only thing they want, man. Like, my kid is going to go to the top school,
sure.
and then they're going to go to a top college.
I like that. That's fair.
Okay. People who are critiquing DE&I, right? This is what they're saying, that this is fair. Like, this is the thing. If you don't like it, then go enroll your kid into a study seminar or something. It's fair. So like, all right. So we've all agreed that it's fair. Doesn't matter that the black and Hispanic numbers are 3.5%, 8%, 14%. That doesn't matter. Study. Take your kids to some study seminars.